Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. Sorry I wasn't been able to get the episode on time for this week. I was doing a bunch of stuff for Family Day at school, but I'm actually going to do the episode today, and I'll put it on the fan page and on my Twitter account too. So and this will go on YouTube too. And even though I did post on there that I will actually do the episode on Tuesday, but I'm actually going to do it today. So let's get started. This is from Rainey from Embarrass, Wisconsin. Hi, Chris. Hope you are doing well. I am doing well. Here's a question for you. This time of year brings out all kinds of interesting spiders. What kinds of spiders and insects existed in prehistoric eras? Since they are so creepy looking, I suspect they existed then too. Well, yeah, I mean, there are some pretty interesting insects and spiders that have lived in the prehistoric times, but most of them are actually just in amber, because that's the best way to describe spiders and insects based on their shape and size is pretty much just going to have to depend on amber. But I think the most interesting insects and spiders actually came from the Carboniferous, the time when the giant insects were actually roaming the earth, and they were monster-sized insects and spiders. I would say that Meganura, or I can't remember how its name is pronounced, but it's a monster dragonfly. It was the size of an eagle with a 2-foot wingspan, which is pretty interesting, because even though it did hunt lizards and small amphibians, so it was actually pretty much a meat-eating carnivore. So it might have hunted other insects on occasion, but I think it probably just mainly preyed on small reptiles and amphibians. So I think that's going to be it. I think that was an interesting dragonfly. But the spider that I think is really interesting at that time in the Carboniferous is Mesothelae, and I think it's a pretty interesting spider. It's a huge spider, the size of a human head. And think of it, if it was alive today, it would have been hunting cats. It would have been hunting cat-sized prey. So it was a huge spider, considering that it was an interesting looking spider. There are other insects and spiders that have existed in periods of time, but I'm not going to get into detail about others. But majority of the insects and spiders are pretty much going to be in amber. So if you actually look up insects and spiders trapped in amber, you might actually get a glimpse of probably what those kinds of species would actually look like back in that time. But mainly going to be around the time of mammals. It's very rare to find amber that is around the time of the dinosaurs, but it does actually exist. But it does exist that there are pieces of amber that have been found during the time of the dinosaurs. But the Dominican Republic has really nice amber specimens. They have an amber mine down there, and what I found out was pretty interesting. So hopefully that answers your question. So hopefully that will give you a little bit of information about that. And this email comes from Addery. I am sorry. It seems I don't have your where you're from. So next time when you actually email me your question, or otherwise post it on Facebook, why don't you actually leave where you're from, like the city, state, or what country you're actually from, so that I know where you're coming from and where this email is coming from. So hopefully you can write down where you're from, so that I can understand where you're from, and I can hopefully, if you're from a different country, hopefully you understand my language, and so hopefully this will help you out. And even though I did answer your question via email, but I'll actually answer for you, since you do have two questions, I'll actually answer your first one answer this one on video, and I'll actually get this under control here. And Addery is asking, the American lion, the African male lion versus male Kodiak bear. Who wins? Well, considering I did actually email you back, but I will re-answer this for you. I would say the male Kodiak bear. The male Kodiak bear would actually have the strength and the strength and the size to actually overpower the male lion. Even though the male lion does have speed and agility, but considering these are animals that are actually in different continents, but just for the sake of your question, this is all based on opinion. I would actually say that the Kodiak bear would actually be the winner in this one because it's got the massive arms and it could stand up on its hind legs and actually kind of scare off any other competitors in its environment, like wolves and I don't know if there's any other animals that are actually any other predators that are actually around there, but I do know wolves are actually around in Canada. So, but yeah, I would say the Kodiak bear would actually be the victor in this fight due to the fact that it's got tremendous strength and got these big arms, big paws, big claws, and it's got bone-crushing teeth, and so it would actually be a really formidable foe for a male lion. But I mean, I'm not going to discard the male lion, that African male lion, even though it was powerful for an animal, even though it's the king of the jungle. But I would say that the lion would probably not have enough to overcome the Kodiak bear, even though it does have a bigger brain, and also it does have speed and agility. So I would actually say that the Kodiak bear is just going to be too much for the lion. So that is my opinion. I'd say the Kodiak bear would just overpower the male lion. And your second question, it is Dinohyus versus the short-faced bear. Well, considering that these are animals that lived in two different eras, but for the sake of this question, both of them are very formidable predators. It's going to be tough to depict who would win this one, but I would say it would actually have to be the short-faced bear, because it's basically it's got a bigger brain than Dinohyus. Dinohyus is a very powerful prehistoric pig, and it was a carnivorous pig, so it's pretty nasty looking dude. And even though it's got bone crushing jaws and probably has for pretty good strength, but I would say the short-faced bear would actually have the speed and the brains to actually find the weaknesses of the Dinohyus and actually pretty much skin the Dinohyus to shreds. So I would probably say that the short-faced bear would actually be the victor in this fight. But I mean, I would say it's a toss-up. I mean, I'm leaning towards the short-faced bear, but I would probably. But it's really a really good fight. I would love to see that one. I'd love to see that one actually happen if it was around, if these animals were around today. Hopefully, I mean, I would love to see that. But I'd say the short-faced bear has the brains and the weapons to actually outwit and also skin the Dinohyus. Dinohyus was mainly a scavenger, so it wasn't really gonna hunt down prey very often. But even though it is called the Terminator pig, but I would actually think that the Terminator pig has no chance against the short-faced bear. Alright, that's it for now. Just to let you know that the next episode of Prehistoric Facts will be a special episode. So hopefully you guys can actually send out what kind of prehistoric animals you want me to talk about. Post them on Facebook so that I can actually know what kind of prehistoric animal that you want me to talk about. it's on. Make sure that you follow the fan page Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris on Facebook. That way you can actually get that way you can actually tell me what kind of prehistoric animal you want me to talk about. And it can be a dinosaur, it can be a mammal, a sea monster, a flying animal, it could be a bird, it could be an animal from the Permian. I mean, it could be anything. It could be any vertebrate. I like to talk about vertebrates, so hopefully it's a vertebrate, not an invertebrate. Vertebrate. Excuse me. My mouth seems like my talking is just not working properly here. Come on. Look at me. I'm in school. What the heck? But I would say that. But even though, but also keep in sending your questions to my email, dinocris71@gmail.com, or otherwise post your questions on the Facebook fan page I mentioned, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Follow the fan page and also follow me on Twitter with the Twitter address @CSGRAL, which is CSGRALL lower caps. And make sure to follow me on Twitter and also on Facebook. And make sure that you take care of the people around you and take care of yourself. And also for you younger kids out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation you can get to have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. And I'm still going to school, even though there are times I struggle. But hey, you gotta ask for help. And that is the most important thing, to ask for help when you need it. And anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Prehistoric Facts, which should be a special episode. Send me any kind of, just post any kind of dinosaur or prehistoric animal you want me to talk about. So I'll see you guys later.